All right, what's up, guys? This is Mateo with Stay the Lakers. I'm your host again, and today I got my buddy here, Martin, who is a day one Laker fan. How's it going, Martin?
Man, I'm doing. I've been better. A tough L tonight, but I'm glad to just chop it up with you, man. After for a little recap, talk about the Lake Show, dude.
Same, bro. That's how we kind of got to get through it. An awful loss against a team that we want to beat. Yeah, you just got to talk it out and kind of just take the emotions out, kind of try and make sense of
Right.
it. So, Lakers lose tonight, 109 to 98 to the Brooklyn Nets, and it was a funky game. We've been talking on this show about how we're looking forward to this game, February 18th against the Nets. You know, their trifecta of superstars versus our dynamic duo, but we didn't have AD. And surprise, surprise, 30 minutes before the game, we don't have Dennis Schroeder, who we lost to COVID protocols. So we don't know if he has coronavirus or if it was just contact tracing. So we're really in the dark about that. So we didn't have AD or Schroeder, and KD didn't play for the Nets. So it was LeBron, the rest of our role players, and then Harden and Kyrie versus the Nets. And boy, did the Nets show out tonight, man. They just killed us from three. Joe Harris was out there looking like Steph Curry and Reggie Miller combined. Kuzma and LeBron were the only bright spots for us, really. Kuzma had 16 points, 10 boards. LeBron had 32, 8, and 7. Just doing LeBron things, man. He was just keeping the team afloat. And we didn't really have any lead at all except for the first quarter. So we were always kind of battling back in. There were moments where it looked like we could have made a run, but the offense was just so dead tonight, man. That's what I'm going to remember about this first Nets game. How just the threes weren't falling for us. We have another bad game from three. And we just can't hit our jumpers. We're just like missing little easy shots, everything, man. What do you think of that horrible game tonight?
Yeah. You kind of hit it right on the head, man. Offensively, very, very smelly tonight. Really, I thought the only two guys that played well enough to win a game were LeBron and Kuz.
Mm-hmm.
Um, LeBron and Kuz. I mean, LeBron was ridiculous tonight. He was. I still think he was the best player on the floor, but the Nets were just better. I also got to shout out to Kuz. He played well, but everybody else, man, just was really bad. THT might have had his worst game of the year. KCP is still a little bit in the funk. I thought Matthews was pretty bad, man. I was expecting more from Montrez. Kind of a good matchup. They're obviously we know they're not known for their perimeter defense. I mean, interior defense this year. I'm
They're
talking
not
about
really known for their perimeter either. They're just
either.
no defense. Yeah.
Exactly. So Montrez kind of, I was disappointed in that. But it's like, we were messaging on Twitter earlier, and I was like, dude, it's always, man, it's always one guy. It's always one
Mm-hmm.
guy comes in against the Lakers, and he's just Jordan in '93. Today, Timothy, I think it's Cabarro. I mean, just lights out, like you said, Harris. But man,
Mm-hmm.
it's one game. Davis, they announced, is what I think he's out for 4 weeks, and Schroeder was a scratch, like you said, 30 minutes before. So,
Mm-hmm.
that was a pretty surprising scratch right there.
Yeah, for me too, it's going to be something that I can't really put a lot of stock into because, hey, we didn't see the best version of the Brooklyn Nets, and hey, that might scare us. But also, we were missing, I'd say, like half of our offensive scheme when you think about all that Davis does and all that Schroeder really does. Tonight really illustrated how much we miss Schroeder, man,
Yeah,
because he's
and
obviously that he's. Oh, sorry, go for it.
no, I was just gonna say on both ends though, dude. I mean, you saw. I mean, Harden was great tonight, and I think it's just like you said. Like down the road, the Nets are gonna look a lot different, but we're gonna look different too.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to get into. Yeah, about how both ends of the floor, dude, because he'll facilitate for us, but he'll also give us that spark with his, he'll get a strong drive to the rim or he'll get like a really quick fast break. He's an energy guy for us as
Yep.
well as being a really important cog in the machine. So, I mean, I was kind of thinking to myself, is he our third best player? We love Caruso and we'll talk him up all day. And I think crunch time, he could be arguably our third most important player for all that he does for us in crunch time. But
Right.
throughout the course of the game, it's probably Schroeder, dude.
Yeah, I think, last season in the bubble, like it was pretty clear that our third best player was KCP, right? In the bubble.
Yeah.
In that series against Denver and Houston, and of course against Miami. And this year, I think, like, honestly, you probably should make the argument that Dennis is maybe our third most important guy. Just because of, like, he is a very good two-way player. He's defensively, he's kind of a pest out there. And it's, we're going to be a lot different. This is February 18th, man. Now, so are
Mhm.
they. I kind of, I gotta say, man, I was kind of like back and forth between out of the East, maybe Milwaukee, Philly, or Brooklyn. I think I was just like telling myself that, like, I don't think anyone's going to beat Brooklyn in the East, honestly. So, but we'll see.
Mhm. I think Philly might have a chance, dude, if Embiid, he gets healthy again and he'll just kill him on the inside. I think it's Brooklyn and Philly because we just saw Milwaukee have another bad loss to the Raptors tonight.
I know, I know. I
And
think,
so
I think,
that was way different.
yeah, I do think it'll be really great if we can get Philly and Brooklyn. That would be a lot of fun.
I think either series would be super fun, dude. Yeah, because you got Ben versus LeBron, the fucking clutch one-on-one, and then you got all this shit that Joel talks, and hopefully that brings something out of AD. I mean, we
Right.
saw the fiery competitive side of him last playoffs, but it's just I just look back on this whole season through the lens of the injury, man, because it just really messed up everything that Davis had going for him. Maybe he could
Right.
have fought harder at points during the season, but I don't know, there were just certain times where he'd be the anchor on defense, and a little guy be driving to the rim, and it's like, come on, you can't even get a hand up. I know that your feet are hurting, but can can you not like get a hand up and
Right.
just contest it a little more? So that kind of
Yeah.
makes me think part of it was effort, but I'm going to attribute to like 75% of it was that injury, dude, because if he was bound through something in the finals and then just every step of the way leading up to when he had to walk off the court after that free throw, yeah, that's I'm mostly going to attribute it to.
Right. I mean, I agree. He was in the regular season, like you said, like he was just so damn good defensively as our anchor. And then, of course, translated to the bubble. And then you had
Mhm.
to play through that heel injury. You had to gut it out. And, like, I mean, we've keep saying it, but it's true, man. Like, they had 2 months off. Uh, like, if I'm tired, like, I know they're tired. Um,
Yeah.
like, it's a lot for, like, even as I'm a, like, and I know you are too. I already know, like, a diehard basketball fan. It's hard to even keep track now, like, because it was just kind of like presented. Oh, by the way, season's going to start around Christmas. Like, oh,
It
okay,
really felt like that, dude. It
right,
really did. I was like, "Wait, I'm still gloating about this championship. Hold on,
right.
I need a little more off season. I'm not done yet."
Dude, I'm telling you, man, I am, ride or die, diehard Lakers fan, huge sports fan, NBA fan. But, like, man, when I got that alert on my phone, December 22nd, I was like, this is kind of crazy. So I think, like, we have to be patient. Like I said, I think the timetable they said like 30 minutes ago was 4 weeks, and I'm cool with that. Give him his time. Um, I think if he just gets recovery, we'll be a totally different team.
Yeah. I think you should even give him like 6 weeks, dude,
I,
because
I don't mind a 5, 6, yeah, man, whatever, man. It's like I'm not concerned about this one seed. The Jazz are like ODing, and they are great for
but
this
we
one
match up
seed.
really well with them. I'm really
Yeah,
not
we
concerned about it at all. We have a
we
healthy
match up
AD. That's why I'm
exactly.
chicken.
Match up so well with them, and, like, we know what it is. Like, home court advantage just isn't that big of a deal, man. There are no fans, especially if we meet. Not to get, like, too ahead of myself, like, if we meet the Clippers, because then there's no travel. Like, whatever, it's the same arena. So, but
Mhm.
I agree with the points you said about him being the anchor last year, and just let's just get this guy right.
Yeah, it might be 4 weeks, it might be six. Youssef
Hmm.
was on Youssef, who Martin went to high school with, right? Beverly Hills.
That's right. What's up with Youssef? What did you guys talk about? I think he
We
was talking about the injury, no?
That's correct. Yeah. So
Hmm.
Youssef is an athletic trainer and he's also in podiatry school. So that's foot and ankle. And so I was like, oh shit, Youssef, you know anything about like the Achilles tendinosis? And what he
All the
was
way.
saying was he thinks it might be Achilles tenosynovitis, which means that it's basically the shaft around his Achilles tendon. And AD said
Okay.
this himself in a post-game interview. I don't think it's the tendon that's hurting. He said it's around the tendon. And I was also doing a little more extra research from there's a guy on YouTube and you'll see him on Twitter called Brian Sutterer. I think that's his name. And he does, medical videos about athlete injuries. And he also says it might be tenosynovitis too. But
Okay.
so that kind of still keeps his timetable the same. But yeah, in terms of the diagnosis, it might be something else because that's two medical people that are kind of scratching their head at the diagnosis. Um,
I
either way,
see.
either way though, you gotta give the guy rest, but I don't think you should give him rest to where he's just, sitting on his ass all day. They're a professional training staff. They'll have him doing rehab and different injuries, drills
Right.
and stuff.
No. Right.
So it's just going to take time, man. And we need Schroeder back ASAP just so we can keep getting these games under our belt, dude.
I know. I know. It's I mean, I can't lie, man. Like I'm nervous because just in this the protocols and situation, like, we really don't know. Like, what if tomorrow they're like, oh, by the way, Kuzma can't play because he was in contact. Like, obviously, God forbid, like, you don't want these situations. But I don't know with these protocol things. Hopefully, Dennis is like maybe just a contact tracing situation. So maybe he's just out like a couple of games. But yeah, hoping for the best there.
I hope so. It's really unpredictable because Tatum got COVID and he had a quote recently saying that, hey, it's still kind of hard. I'm still kind of wheezing getting up the court
Dude,
after
that's
getting
crazy.
COVID. And then
Yeah.
we hear about like NFL athletes that kind of aren't the same after it too. So yeah, I'm fingers crossed that it's just contact tracing. You know what was crazy about this? I mean, I just looked at this stat and I just like shuddered. I had like a physical reaction. The next shot, 46% from three on the night, and we shot 26. And just
Yeah.
seeing the little ESPN graphic of the difference in 26 to 46, just I was just like, oh God. And it's been
Yeah.
a good
But
like 5 games or so that we've been
that's
shooting
a
three.
thank you, Mateo. Dude, this is not like a one game sample, unfortunately. Man, we've been like brick city from three, man. Tonight, I think they made what did you say? What was it, six?
We shot
Three
26.7%, but it was
percent.
somewhere in that area. Like it was probably less than 10 that we made, dude.
Man,
Oof.
especially in 2021 NBA, less than 10 threes, like it's going to be hard to win. They made less than three tonight. I don't remember them shooting well against Minnesota, but they won that game because Minnesota sucks. Like that's a
Mhm.
bad team. But yeah, so they've got to obviously they need Dennis, they need AD. Get some offensive, game plans, some continuity. Because yeah, that 26%, that's not going to do it.
Yeah. Fortunately, we've been pretty fortunate in our continuity. This is the first time we've really been affected by the COVID protocols,
That's
except
true.
Caruso, he got hit by it. But you see other teams, I mean, KD had to miss some time just for that. And you see other teams just get wrecked by it, just the protocols themselves. But
Yeah,
it
that's
was,
true.
I guess it was going to come for us eventually.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's a good point. It's going to come eventually. The good thing is though that I don't. We haven't had one game postponed, which is nice because they haven't announced the schedule yet.
Mhm.
Post All Star, but I know that they're going to try to make up all those postponed ones. So from the Lakers standpoint, I'm like, well, maybe that gives us another week of rest because we haven't had one postponed. And so fingers crossed, we're doing really well with like COVID and obviously like you said, Caruso and Schroeder today, but we done pretty well as a team.
Yeah. I was gonna say something, but I just lost my train of thought there. Oh, it was about the week of rest. Yeah, dude. I didn't
Right.
think about
Also,
that
yeah.
postponed in terms of
Hmm.
postponed games. We haven't even had our shit postponed either. If we could get a free week or like a little bye week out of that, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Any rest for
Yeah.
our old team would be good.
I think they're they're gonna try like immediately to do the postponed ones, and we haven't had one postponed. So I think yeah, like maybe a little fake week off, another week. That'd be, especially for this team, that'd be great.
I know, man. Yeah. Also tonight, points in the paint. What would you guess the points in the paint was for how many points in the paint did we get? How many did they get?
Uh, if okay, for the points in the paint, I'm gonna say LeBron, and honestly, man, like THT and KCP made like a couple of layups, bro. I honestly cannot think of anybody on the team tonight besides a couple of THT layups, LeBron, of course, and like a KCP layup. What was the official number?
All right, hear me out. So I believe I read this correctly on the ESPN stats site. We had 54 points in the paint, and they had 32. So that just illustrates how badly they killed us from three, dude.
Wow, so we outscored them in that. That's actually pretty crazy.
Yeah, we outscored them. We almost doubled their.
20,
Yeah,
22. They were I mean, three's more than two, bro. That's just math. The Harris, Harden was great. Harris was great. Harden was great. And freaking Cabarro, man. There's always one guy. It was Cabarro's night. You knew it was gonna be one guy, and I think he had five threes, and like in his next game he's going to score 6 points.
yeah.
So he killed us, and Harden was great tonight.
And hey, if we get matched up with them in a playoff series, maybe this is indicative of how often they're going to go to the three. And I like our chances on the perimeter if we're healthy, dude. Between Caruso, KCP, his speed, and Schroeder. And if THT can kind of become a better defender mentally, not lose his guy so much, just using that wingspan on the perimeter, like we got tools there.
Yeah, I think perimeter. That's we're gonna have to make our living if it's Nets Lakers, because I mean it's the primary ball handler the entire game for Brooklyn is it's either going to be Kyrie or Harden, because Nash is going to just stagger the minutes so that one of them always is the ball handler. So like you said, it's going to come down to our matchup of guards throwing KCP, Caruso, Wesley, THT, like you said. But I don't hate that matchup, man. I feel confident if it comes down to it. So we'll see.
I don't hate it either. I'll let the 13-year-olds on NBA Twitter get their day to day, but we'll see. We'll see you whenever we play next. And if we got AD, shit's gonna be a little different.
Right, man. They're taking victory laps. Like, bro, it's
Yeah,
February 18th, man.
I
Like,
know.
yes, I did, of course, man. I wanted to fucking win this game, but it's February 18th, man. LeBron and Kuzma played 2-on-5. Like, it's a long way to go.
They really did, man. Yeah. Yeah, all in all, like we said in the beginning, I don't want to put too much stock in this game just because we were missing so much. But I think that
Right.
about wraps up my thoughts on it. You got any parting thoughts, Martin?
No, man. I think that was, we kind of hit the nail on the head. Yeah, man. It's Be calm, everybody. Mateo, thanks for having me. And I would look, man. You know where I'm at. I'm always down to talk some Lakers, dude.
Sounds good, man. Thanks for coming on.
All the way.
All right,
Appreciate it.
take it easy, dude. Later.
Okay. Later.